podcast today. My name is Cindy Speaker. I have with me as my guest attorney David Daggett of Daggett Shuler Attorneys at Law.
Hey,
David, how are you?
good, Cindy. Good to be with you.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, the weather's warmed up. It's getting nice out. It's super.
Yeah. So have you been bicycling yet? We're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
You have been.
I'm
Okay,
starting to
very
ramp
good.
up my mileage and get in good shape.
Oh, excellent. Well, about a year ago, we talked about the new bicycle laws. And today I'd like to revisit that, talk a little bit about just kind of a refresher course on that. Any updates or anything like that you can share with us?
Sure. So we're gonna attach the bicycle laws ebook that we published for free. We'll attach that. I guess the best place is to put that below after we're done recording, maybe.
Sure.
Okay. So anyway, we'll attach that ebook. You can go back and you can reference that. The updates is I think cyclists. Remember the two laws, there were two sides of it. It gave cyclists some additional rights, but it also gave cyclists some additional responsibilities.
Right.
So, I think that's good. It goes both ways, and I think cyclists have taken that seriously. I don't think motorists generally know about those new laws, but there's a theory in life I call the theory of reciprocity, is that when we change our behavior, others change their behavior commensurate with that. Does that make sense?
It really does, yeah.
So with bicycle safety, I always impart to other cyclists the rule of reciprocity is very, very important. Basically, I think there's three parts of bicycle safety. One is following the rules of the road, and we can cover each of these three, but one is following the rules of the road. Second is being visible. And third is being a good ambassador. I think all three of those feed into the rule of reciprocity that I talked about and helps if we help motorists, then they help us, and it's better for the cycling community.
Yeah. David, have you found that you've made any changes in your cycling as you interact with cars since the new laws came out a year ago?
Well, it's interesting. The thing that I have done is we talked about this a year ago, is the quality of LED lighting for bicycles has gone up and the price has come down.
Okay.
So now you can get very effective, very bright lights at a lower price. And something that I'm doing that I'm seeing other cyclists starting to do also is I have daytime running lights on my bike. In the old days, you used to have your lights only at dusk or at dark.
Yeah.
I put my lights on every single time I go out for a ride. I have an extremely bright flashing front light. That's a white light. And then I have three flashing lights on the back of my bike. I have one that is on my seat post going back. And then I have two more that I fit on my seat stays. Now, cyclists will know what the seat stays are on their bike, but I line them up one above each other. They're all three flashing LEDs. I turn them on so that that they're not in sync with each other. So one flashes, then this one flashes, then this one flashes, and that one flashes, and so it's kind of going like this with the three different lights. I think it has been remarkable, the change that I've seen in motorists dealing with me since I've gone to those three flashing lights on back and the one flashing light on front. Is obviously, and it's the theory of reciprocity we talked about, is I'm watching out for my own safety.
Yeah.
I'm helping them because I'm extremely visible, and they then have a positive attitude towards cyclists. I think I told the story once before. I was riding way out in the country on a country road, and a great big jacked up loud pickup truck comes up next to me, and he revs it as he comes up, and he rolls down the window, and I thought, uh-oh, what's he going to do? and he leans over and he says, hey, I appreciate you having that bright light on the back of your bike. I could see you from a mile away. So, but the lesson
Yeah.
is I helped him.
Yeah.
My light helped him, and because it helped him,
Yeah.
he had a better feeling toward me,
Yeah.
and that is the biggest thing I've changed. So, if you take a poll among just non-cycling motorists as to the changes in the bicycle laws, I don't think that motorists, I bet you not 1 or 2% of them even know that that happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not aware of that. But we know it's changed. We have upped our game a little bit. The theory of reciprocity kicks in, and it's better for cyclists and motorists.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
a great
think,
point.
yeah, I think I'm seeing that. So to review the laws real quickly, that they changed the laws now at night. Rather than just having reflectors on your bike, you have to have either lights on your bike or a reflective vest that's visible from 500 feet away. So that's one big one. Second big one is that under the old laws, you had to use your left hand to signal where you were going. That's kind of an ancient law from back in the days when cars didn't have turn signals, and the only way for the driver of the car to signal where he's going to stick his arm out the window for a
Yeah.
turn this way, or to stop. Well, that's kind of an arcane rule. So now you can signal with either arm, and what I've noticed is cyclists are giving better signals when they're getting ready to turn. I'm
Okay.
turning right.
Yeah.
I'm turning left. And that, believe it or not, just that is extremely helpful to motorists. And then the third one, and I think this is really a big one, is, and motorists don't know this, is we now have what's called the 4-foot rule, meaning when a motorist passes a bicyclist, it has to be 4 feet, and that the law is more complicated than that. It's got to be on a road with a no passing zone and that sort of thing. But that's most of our city roads and most of our single lane country roads. So you have to pass by 4 feet instead of by 2 feet. And everybody knows that when you're riding a bike, getting buzzed by a car at 2 feet as opposed to 4 feet, that is a big deal. So that was a big change. I don't know that I'm seeing a significant difference in that. Although when I'm talking to people in a very positive manner about cycling, particularly to non-cyclists, I remind them of the 4-foot rule. So I think that word is probably spreading a little bit. And
that's good. Yeah.
yeah, and those are the basic changes under the new laws. There's also increases in fines and penalties if a motorist runs a cyclist off the road or if a cyclist gets hurt or something like that. Those roads are now the same laws that motorcyclists have enjoyed for years. So
Okay.
I think that's a positive thing. But I've seen cyclists up their game. Very, very important. So on the three things we talked about, I think we've talked about lighting quite a bit. Cyclists still need to follow the laws. I was biking the other day, and of course I was catching them, but there were some guys in front of me that I was catching. The stoplight turns red, and those two guys they buzzed right through the stoplight, and I stopped. But you could almost see and feel the motorists going, come on.
Right.
They ran the red light. That doesn't reflect good on any of us. The other thing, and pardon me, that there's pollen in the air. I'm gonna sneeze maybe. I think it's coming. I'll try to hold it in if I can. I guess that's proof that this is really live and not staged.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So cyclists following the laws, I think it's very important. That gets back to our rule of reciprocity, and I know I've said that a lot of times, but that holds true.
Yeah.
And then the number 3 that we talked about right at the beginning is being good ambassadors.
Yes.
And that's a combination of everything that we've talked about. the one thing, I don't have it in my repertoire to give obscene hand gesture. Some do. That doesn't help. That doesn't help me. That it doesn't help the other cyclists on the road. And I think one of the things that we have to remember when we're cycling is the conduct that we do on the road might not just affect us, but it affects the next cyclist coming down the road tomorrow or next week. Because what you've embedded is a negative perception in the mind of that motorist.
Yeah.
And we got to do, as a cycling community, we simply have to come together, do the best we possibly can to spread positive messages, be good ambassadors. My experience is most motorists don't hate us. They get annoyed with us if we don't follow the laws, or they can't see us, or we're not behaving nicely. But they want to work with us, and that's why, going back, I find having the very good bright lights just makes motorists respond more favorably to you. The other thing that I do, and this is just a habit I'm in, when I'm on my handlebars, and assuming it's safe, I'm not dodging a pothole or something, every motorist that goes by me, I just give a little wave of my hand. Just give a little, and you'd be surprised, they go by and they wave right back.
Right.
Well,
Right.
all of a sudden, you don't realize it. You might not even know what the person looks like. You've established a relationship.
Yes.
And that is a positive relationship.
Yes.
That positive relationship will reflect on the next cyclist coming down the road. So it's one of those things you just keep passing it along, and it improves. Another thing I add, and I'm sorry I keep throwing things in.
No, this is great.
One of the things that I do is I have regular routes that I ride. And the reason is, if you ride regular routes at approximately the same time of day, you tend to see the same motorists. And even though you don't know them, you might not even know what they look like, again, you're building that relationship with them, and then they're helping you on the road.
Yeah.
And that's a very positive thing.
Now, one of the things I love about you is that when you look, it seems like no matter what the subject is, you have a way of inspiring people, and I love what you're saying about the reciprocity.
Yeah,
and being good ambassadors. What a wonderful way to inspire.
Yeah, I told somebody the other day, the good Lord didn't give me a whole lot of brains, but He gave me a positive attitude. So you got to use what you can, right? Yeah. So no, this is interesting. My daughter should be graduating soon, but she's in school in Durham, and so I biked to Durham last Saturday afternoon, and I was on completely foreign roads. I'd never been on them before. I just kind of mapped a little winding route through the country, and I practiced the same behaviors that we talked about.
Yeah.
And I was in a strange area, people I'd never seen before, roads I'd never been on before. Every single motorist was respectful and courteous to me. Yeah. And that's just an ongoing reinforcement for us.
Yes.
That if we up our behavior, the rule of reciprocity comes in, and they're going to treat us just the same.
I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think it's great. And I love your perspective. One of the things I think about it is exactly what you said. The motorists, like myself, don't have quite the level of awareness of these laws as maybe we should. So if you guys as cyclists up your game and become the good ambassadors, that definitely is very helpful to the whole situation.
I think
keeping both parties safe.
Both parties, absolutely, absolutely.
Right.
So, and the other thing I'll say, cyclists, we all have a fear of people texting and driving. Those very bright LED lights, they tend to catch attention. So, even if somebody's texting, when they peek up, they're going to see that.
Right.
And maybe you've helped them because you reorient them back to the road.
Yes.
So.
Great stuff.
So if anybody needs any other information, we have information on our website. We are going to link the
Yes.
ebook here,
Yes.
which is it's very short, easy to read,
Yeah.
and we're happy to help in any way we can.
David, give us your contact information.
So 336-724-1234. The website is daggettshulerlaw.com, and or Google me, David Daggett, and all sorts of bicycling stuff will come up.
Outstanding. Outstanding.
Yeah.
Great. Well, listen, David, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Cindy.
Okay, we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
And those of you watching either live or by replay, if it's not linked right, we'll get it linked as fast as we can. If you don't see it right now, come back in about a half hour. We'll have the ebook link so you can get all that good information that David has for you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Bye now.